Welcome to the Ranking Heroes, where we explore the cutting edge strategies that dominate search rankings and the innovative minds behind them. I'm your host Nebojša, and today I'm thrilled to introduce Nick Vujic, the renowned SEO expert, Webflow SEO expert, and the guy who helped many businesses scale, especially with the focus on SaaS businesses, but with a lot of experience regarding content strategies, SEO, and Webflow behind him. So thanks for joining, Nick. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you, Nebisha, for having me. Thank you for warm introduction, and thank you so much for even giving me opportunity to be part of the podcast. I'm super glad that we can finally talk about some SEO stuff, in person and share our knowledge with audience. So once again, thank you. It's my pleasure to be part of your podcast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to diving deep into some SEO strategies and discussing your personal background. So let's start with that. So, can you share a bit about your background and what led you to specialize in SEO and Webflow?
Oh yeah, that's a super good question. Thank you for asking that, and it's the best way to kick off for sure. So I think yeah, I was you know that from our private chats, but I was part of a few podcasts there, some are well-known SEO podcasts where I explain actually how I stood up to this. Also,
Mm-hmm.
that I share my let's say specific approach to marketing as SEO overall. So my story actually
Mm-hmm.
began completely unrelated to marketing. I was
Mm-hmm.
a student on law university back in the days, so 10 years ago almost. So I had one subject. It's called basics of economics, and query
Oh.
I stood up on that economics or basically in that book it was explain everything about market. So my approach it was
Mm-hmm.
okay, in marketing we have that word market that actually is making the word marketing. So you really need to be familiar with everything that's basics of the market and rules of the market, similar stuff to that. So I really felt in love with that from that one book.
Mm-hmm.
And I was okay, how can I later on learn more and apply that to digital, because I always was interested in business, in some sort of working and providing
Mm-hmm.
services on my own. And back in 2016 I started to learn digital marketing, but it was everything regarding PPC, socials, whatever. So I started, and then I was okay, but how I can generate or offer my service to any clients, because I don't have experience. So I need to manage, for example, 100K per month for PPC stuff like that. I wasn't back in the days confident enough that I can tackle that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was okay, there must be some other way that you can actually apply everything there. And I stood up to SEO. And it was very
Oh.
funny because yeah, I focused mostly on data. So it was basically it was I think it was Google, actually Google, I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
do you even have that. It's called Google Digital Garage or something like that. It was
Okay.
course that you can uh, you know take and for free query and learn about the Google. And then Google explained actually what is SEO and Google Search Console and stuff
Oh.
like that. So I was oh my gosh, this is phenomenal. So I don't need I need to request money from the clients. I can offer my service, and I can help them basically for free. Clearly that's not how SEO works, but back in the days for me it was enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to actually freelance a bit, Upwork, and usual
Mm-hmm.
consultant beginnings.
You got a chance to live test some of your knowledge
Yes,
and
yes.
perform SEO
Yes,
implementation
yes, first
to your
time, because
clients.
until
Yeah.
until then, basically 2016, 2017, I was just in 2018 actually, I was just learning and then testing, as you said, I needed someone to apply my
Mm-hmm.
knowledge. So it was very basic stuff, basic on page SEO, writing meta title,
Mm-hmm.
meta descriptions, a little bit of tech SEO, but
Uh-huh.
nothing too serious. And then and curry money was not too serious, so I worked different stuff,
Yeah.
and learn SEO on the side, because I really felt in love. It got a data
Mm-hmm.
analysis, marketing, like everything that I really loved. Like basically, it was like perfect profession for myself. And clearly, with that time, I built the confidence. SEO was like super simple back in days, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like
So,
so.
like, you're now feeling the difference. There is a
Yeah.
difference. Like, would you say that there is a huge difference
Yes.
when optimizing websites right now comparing to back to the days when you were doing Upwork freelance
Yes.
works for your
Yes. For sure.
clients?
For
And
sure.
what is
So
the main difference? Like, what?
yeah, so I think the main difference is like the whole like basically back in this also you had that approach, but it was like practiced by very like low amount of people, like
Mm-hmm.
to for example, like I stood up on some articles from Bill Slowski,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, like unfortunately Bill is not longer with us, but like we have Cora and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I would say that like back in days people practiced a bit topical authority, but it was
Mm-hmm.
more oriented towards keywords and like basic like approach to SEO. So technically
Yeah.
before, what I would do, I would like jump in Ahrefs and stuff like that, and then I would find keywords, so I could do the basic on
Yeah.
page that we did back then, like add some keywords there,
Yeah.
optimize content and stuff like that. But I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest switch in those query. It passed like almost 8 years from that moment, but like yeah, like we moved towards topic authority way more. I don't even look at keywords anymore, like that much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like trying to optimize site on very different level, very high end level. So I really think that you can still do SEO on both ways, but I'm pretty sure that you're gonna like experience way better results, that I even
Mm-hmm.
showed on some of my examples, if
Mm-hmm.
you're following topic authority.
Yeah, I remember back in the days, for example, when you open a local business website, you can see how many keywords they are staffing. They are mentioning the main keyword plus location on every single
Yeah,
page, linking back to the home page. So this is something that doesn't work right now.
yeah,
You need to
yeah,
focus on other things right now. You
for
you
sure.
don't need to do keyword staffing right now. Okay, and what's your opinion? Do you think that people can learn SEO by looking at the different courses, reading articles, hearing other people who are obviously experts in that fields, or do you think that in order to become a successful SEO strategist or specialist, leading to an SEO expert, you will need to do live testing on a website in like real life situations. You cannot just learn SEO from reading and listening to videos,
Yeah.
podcasts, and
I,
everything.
I would say like clearly, and I think majority of people will say like the second one is the true answer. You need to apply knowledge, and applied
Okay.
knowledge is the king. Okay, but like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not completely like I can understand that part, but I don't completely
Mm-hmm.
agree with that standpoint. Why? I think the both are very important. So I can tell you, like back then, it was way easier to learn SEO just like from reading, being part of the
Mm-hmm.
different communities, following
Mm-hmm.
people on LinkedIn, following people on Twitter or currently X.
Yeah.
So it was like my process was like learning by reading, search engine
Mm-hmm.
journal, and like Ahrefs blogs, whatever, like whatever you can
Mm-hmm.
find, and clearly going on those courses, because like I wouldn't like even know for SEO if I didn't like take that free course from the Google, like. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
clearly you need to have a relevant source for that.
Yeah.
But I think back in the day was way simpler because, as you explained, it was like very simple to do SEO and to execute SEO.
Mm-hmm.
But today, I would say that learning SEO and getting into industry is super. Like clearly, we see like that like trash SEOs are like jumping all over the place because like demand is
Mm-hmm.
huge. But I would say that like if you really want to get to some level and to become expert, you need to have both. So actually, my practice was the next. When I started to getting some clients, working on some serious
Mm-hmm.
projects, we can like touch the base with those
Mm-hmm.
after. I
Yeah.
spent 80%. I'm lying. I spent 70% active, so
Mm-hmm.
like applying the knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and 30% of each day by reading. Still, I'm trying
Oh.
to do that even today. So I'm probably spending like okay, could I have like way less time, but
Yeah.
I spending yeah I spending probably today 90% applying stuff or like managing stuff, whatever, and 10% like each and every day I'm spending at least 10% of my time on reading, following the news and stuff like that. So I would say that learning SEO currently is super complex. It's way more complex than before because SEO became way more complex. But I
Mm-hmm.
would say that if someone wants to jump in this industry, it needs to find relevant sources, and you have a lot of them
Mm-hmm.
on LinkedIn actually. But be careful, who you follow.
Mm-hmm.
Read, and then start with at least one project that you can apply that.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, like I just like mentioned that in first question, that like for 3 years I almost like read like 80% of time, and I was applying like 20% because like my first big project was like in 2018 actually. So I started to make
Mm-hmm.
like real money and to live from this from
Mm-hmm.
2018. So 2016,
Mm-hmm.
2017, and good portion of 2018, I was just like reading and learning. So if you would say someone, today to spend 3 years learning something, they would say like, okay, like this is, I'm gonna quit. This is not like worth time. But
Yeah,
for
but
me,
like,
it,
what helped
yeah.
you define what's good to read and to get knowledge from, comparing to what's not? Like, because there are a lot of different people, different articles, different information. Like, what helped you define? For
Mm-hmm.
example, I had a guy who learned how to do SEO because he was working with the expert
Mm-hmm.
right beside him. So that helped
Oh,
him
that's
get
amazing
the
way.
right knowledge.
Yes.
Yes, in a single year, compared to that, like for example, if he had to do it on his own, it would take him 3 or 4 years. So it
Mm-hmm.
took you 3 years to completely
Mm-hmm.
like cover
Mm-hmm.
every
Mm-hmm.
aspects. So like, what helped you find the information you need?
Yeah. So again, back in this, I was working like different jobs, so I didn't have like
Mm-hmm.
way more like
Mm-hmm.
I spent probably like 8 hours per day practicing SEO, like or
Whoa,
actually
man,
reading
that's
and learning.
amazing.
Yeah, and it was like just because pure of love and interest, and I really
Yeah.
think that's like the first part that you need to have if you want to be successful. And for me personally, that's for all aspects of the job, not
Mm-hmm.
only SEO. So for
Mm-hmm.
all different professions is applied to. But like amazing question that you asked me. I would say uh, um, back in the days you didn't have huge amount of, for example, LinkedIn, like big
Mm-hmm.
people
Yeah,
there,
right, right,
you
right.
know so it was way easier to manage who you're gonna follow. But I would also like apply the same thing from back then.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, I actually like follow up who is sharing case studies, and if those
Mm.
case studies make sense. So regarding
Yeah,
like
that
people
makes
that you're gonna
sense.
follow, you even because of that, I'm not that active on LinkedIn, like by myself. Even I have like some very nice following and stuff like that, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not active because like I just want to share what I think it's good of sharing. So case
Mm-hmm.
studies, some really like strong opinions or some things,
Mm-hmm.
insights, but you really need
Mm-hmm.
to have a reason to share. I would say like that. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
looking for people that you want to learn from, I guess like look or like follow.
Mm-hmm.
Look for case studies, look for type of content that they're publishing, and clearly double check, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like find
From
legitimacy. Yeah, 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 right.
yes, from blogs, I would say that is like a bit of tricky questions, but
Yeah.
I was following who they like actually mentioned and who wrote the blogs. So for example,
Oh,
we have
you're
like
following some specific authors. Yeah.
yes. So that
Oh,
was like the
nice.
only reason. Like you have if like John Miller writing something, then like clearly
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take a
Mm-hmm.
look. Barry Schwartz or Barry Schwartz. Pardon, I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
how pronounce
Mm-hmm.
the name. Then
Yeah.
like Glenn Gabe, who was there like more Aleda Solis. So like it was like decent amount of people that you can like find if those books are actually written by those authors. And clearly in
Yeah.
SEO right now, that's like a big ranking factor, EAT. So I
Yeah, I
was like,
think these are
trying
some
to,
great advice. This
yeah,
is a great advice for everyone who wants to learn SEO, to just implement what you just said, and it will be very helpful for them to learn, actually to learn
for
and
sure.
find the valuable information. So Nick, like, it's your story is amazing. Like studying low university,
Hmm.
then going switching to Google and SEO, learning about
Yeah.
the SEO, starting with some freelance clients, and then right now you scaled to a marketing director. So like, how did your um, role evolve from the freelancer to a
Yeah.
marketing director? Like what are the key points that helped you like go from that to this where you
Yeah.
are now?
Yeah, that's super amazing. Again, like I don't like even love titles that much because like still considering myself like consultant and a nerd about the
Mm-hmm.
SEO. So I'm
Yeah.
SEO nerd. I'm not like anything more
Yeah,
than
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, it is super nice to like. I think it was combination of my effort and luck. Where we all need to
Mm-hmm,
have like
mm-hmm.
one moment that was like okay, like I'm
Yeah.
really lucky that that moment occurred. So
Mm-hmm.
as I said, like for 3 years I was practicing and like basically I mentioning that also like I think from 3 years of SEO I earned maybe like 2000 USD like in 3 years
Oh.
from just like doing the stuff it was nothing
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
But the
but for
value and the
yes.
knowledge you were gaining, that's something that really cost a lot. So
Yes, for
you
sure.
converted knowledge into money.
Yeah,
So.
but it was like, it was very like because I didn't like I was practicing and learning until the moment I was like super ready. Okay, I know, enough
Mhm.
so that I can go and take some serious role. So I would
Mhm.
say that like my effort, as I said, I was like just in one moment of my life, I was like, learning for 8 or 10 hours per day. So it was like,
Whoa.
that is that part of preparation. And then back in
Mhm.
2018, 19, yeah, it
Mhm.
happened that I accidentally went on a meeting. I was like, back in the day, like, okay, I was like, okay, this is the moment. So I'm gonna put
Mhm.
everything in this. I know that I'm gonna succeed in that because, like, for me, SEO is like, the only real professional love in my
Mhm.
life. And I'm sure that I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Um, Clearly because like if I'm not like getting bored from 3 years of learning and like interesting there and I really needed and I really wanted to make something and to make a living from SEO. Then I applied to, trust me, I think like over 300-400 like different jobs, like serious jobs. Yeah, it was like crazy. It was crazy hustle back in the days.
And did you apply to like did you apply on some roles where you don't have any like too much experience, so you're like bluffing like I'm just gonna try, and if they accept there is nothing I can lose, I can just get fired
Yeah,
and that's it.
yeah. It was
You
like,
had
yeah,
some risks.
clearly. Because like listen, I think in that moment I knew that I know pretty much. So I
Yeah,
knew that
yeah,
I know, like I didn't know how much I actually knew, but I was
yeah, yeah,
pretty sure that I know enough so that I can land a decent job.
yeah,
And in
yeah.
one moment, like, believe it or not, nothing happened. And then in one moment, 3 offers are on my table.
Oh.
And yeah, it was like
Now you were in the position to choose between three different
yes,
jobs.
and it was like really
That's
like
nice, man.
making from like maybe like 2000
Like
in
my efforts finally paid off.
yes. It was
Yeah,
like crazy
nice.
because like as I said, like I better in that 3 years made like some money, and then
Yeah.
like you actually would like have a very decent salary something like
Mhm.
that. One of the company was Cryptomat. So
Mhm.
maybe you heard for that. They're pretty. I
Mhm.
think they were pretty big back in the days. And
Mhm.
two other one company I cannot mention, and the third company or agency was my choice.
Mhm.
I was offered like query more things than actually they put on the table, but that's the life of the agency.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm very grateful for that, and that was like lucky moment
Mhm.
again that I like choose them. So actually, they had like Upwork level up,
Mhm.
compared to my profile. So they ran agency through the Upwork. Query right now that doesn't sound super serious, but like back in 2018, 2019, that was like really decent place that you can like earn, good
Mhm.
good living.
Mhm.
And they actually got the clients and in one moment, because it was only two guys and myself, besides them, I took all of the SEO work that needs to
Mhm.
be tackled. So one
Mhm.
of the client was, and I think is still the biggest crypto betting site in the world. It's
Oh.
Cryptomaniacs. We scaled
Mhm.
from 4,000 monthly visits to over 200K per month.
Whoa,
Also,
man.
we achieved 1 million in revenue back in 2019 in only one month. or 2020. Like, don't hold me
In
for
one
dates.
month. Wow, that's
Yeah, 1
impressive.
million. Yeah. So it was like different because like they couldn't run PPC because it was betting. It is like
Oh
forbidden to
yeah,
run
yeah, it was
PPC. So it was
forbidden.
only
Yeah, yeah,
SEO.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Right now it's not, but like before it was.
Right now, yeah, before it was
Yeah.
forbidden. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really got the chance, and because of that I'm blessed. Query money, like actually I skipped that part. I choose like the offer that like offered me the least money. Also,
Mhm.
like from
Mhm.
those three on the table, that was like offer with least money, salary, whatever.
And like, why did you choose the one that
Because
offered
they
you the least
promised
one?
like the stuff. They promised a
Ah,
lot of
okay,
stuff,
okay,
but
okay, okay,
it
okay,
wasn't like that case.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I took that, but again I wasn't like, and I that's my advice for everyone. I wasn't like like in any moment of my career motivated by money. By this money just
Mhm.
falls to me and
Mhm.
follows me whatever I'm doing. But like regarding SEO, I really like doing this for love, and money just follows that. So
So the results are motivating you the most.
yeah, for sure,
Would you
for
say
sure,
that?
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And then
Okay,
like
okay.
actually I got like in touch with that amazing guy. His name is Mendel.
Mhm.
Amazing affiliate marketer back in the days.
Mhm.
Amazing SEO mind. He was like 20 years in SEO or something like that. So imagine that I got opportunity to get in touch with a person like
Yeah.
him, and then actually started my biggest learning curve. Clearly, when I joined that agency, the guys were blown away. Like they're like, "Oh my gosh! Like like some very experienced guys. Like, so
Yeah.
is this like really your first gig?" I was like, "Yeah, it was my first but job, but actually like 3 years of learning, like
Yeah.
lead to that." And they said like, they were blown away. So in that moment, even my confidence skyrocketed. But I was like, okay, I know, I was pretty sure that I can like provide what I'm paid for. But
Mhm.
like the biggest uptake from that period was that I got in touch with amazing affiliate marketer,
Mhm.
amazing SEO, and I learned a lot. Like basically, I think like a reason for success it was that I had like the right guy that I learned from. So you mentioned that you had
Mhm.
a guest that got a mentor. So I would
Mhm.
say that like if you have opportunity even for free to work with people that can actually offer you some knowledge, use that, because like that's the most valuable asset that you can have, you know.
Yeah, 100%
And
agree with you on this.
yeah, and after that, as I said, it was that. So after 3 years in crypto, I was like bored. It was super stressful because we have like very, when I'm talking right now, it is like okay, like what you're talking about, but like we had like even 100K for backlinks, and you know how big
Mhm.
that budget is per month. So it was
Mhm.
like crazy what we did, and in one moment when you like repeatedly do the stuff, it getting like kind of boring.
Mhm.
So, and for me, it's not boring. It was like super stressful.
Mhm.
So when crypto starts to fall down, that was like when COVID-19 happened or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's the
2000, yeah, 20,
20,
2021,
20, 21, 22. Yeah.
22. Yeah, yeah, exactly. 21, 22.
Yeah.
I basically stopped working with them, and I
Yeah.
realized that my path is to take more clients and consult them and help as many businesses as I can. So in
Mhm.
that way, I stood up on that B2B and startups like the most,
Mhm.
and had a very amazing success even today with some of them. And
Mhm.
in one moment, query. So that part is pretty awkward, but like yeah, in one moment, via that agency, I got in touch with Vefo agency, an amazing company, Vesa Digital. It was back in 2020, believe it or not.
Mhm.
And they like that agency actually asked me like, listen, like we have some keyword research. You need to set up the whole website, whatever. I said, okay, let's do it. And they said, like, they're a digital marketing agency, Vesa Digital, like. And so basically, I did the first keyword research for Vesa Digital.
Whoa.
And in one moment, I started working with them as a part of that other agency. But some things happened in business, and actually, Vesa broke up partnership with that agency. Similar time, I stopped working with them too. So it happens that CEO of Vesa, Stefan, contacted me and said like, I want that you keep what you're doing because you set up the whole
Mm-hmm.
website and the whole SEO. We have very nice success, so I wanted that you actually lead this. Then I started to work as a SEO executive, then SEO director for Veza, and 4 years, actually 3 years, passed by. Veza grew to the biggest web agency in the world, and
Wow.
I took another challenge, and that's marketing director, and I'm running marketing operations for them for the past year and a half.
Well, Nick, I mean, that's amazing, man. Like all the experience and everything you
Yeah.
went through, starting from the freelancing through your learning curves, everything, the clients that you experienced, the industries you worked with, especially the ones in crypto, now working with B2B. I mean, a lot of great experience behind you, and you have such good advice for all the people that want to learn SEO. So now that you mentioned the Webflow, I would love to ask you some questions regarding Webflow.
For sure.
So my first question was, what unique advantages does Webflow offer for SEO compared to other platforms? But to make this question more interesting, I would ask you to do a live example. Let's say that you have a client who has a website built in WordPress and you want to suggest migrating from WordPress to Webflow. So what would you say to the client?
Yeah. Ooh. So this is super interesting, and I really love your approach, and it gives like different note to this podcast. I really enjoy this,
Yeah.
and I hope that audience will see the value in those because this is
I'm
like,
sure they will. I mean, you
yes,
already shared some valuable nuggets of wisdom here. We just,
to
yeah,
some extent, it's applying, the knowledge that we just like talk about. So
yeah,
first, I want to start from Webflow. Uh, uh, and I said the same thing to any podcast that I went in. I'm not telling that Webflow is the best for SEO. I'm not even telling that Webflow is
yeah.
the better or choice for SEO than
Mm-hmm.
WordPress. My only if I want to transparently answer that question, I would say Webflow is way um, it's way worse for SEO if you're like beginner, because
Mm-hmm.
Webflow doesn't have a lot of stuff like starting from plugins that can
Mm-hmm.
like help you in optimization that WordPress has.
Yes.
So actually, like if you want to start, applying SEO knowledge in Webflow, you cannot go there like install Yoast or RankMath or whatever, and then like
Oh,
implement
that
meta
was one of my
elements,
questions. I
canonicals.
would have that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So robot
Okay.
tags, robot text, and stuff like that. You cannot
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
They don't have
So, like,
anything like that.
what's your approach there?
So my approach is like for Webflow to actually go and do everything manually with a developer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not like, again, I always like put like very clear differences between like my part of the job and
Mm-hmm.
developer part of the job. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not touching like dev. Even if I know to code, I know HTML decently, I know CSS. I don't know Java
Mm-hmm.
that much. I know a Python a
Mm-hmm.
little
Mm-hmm.
bit, but I never touched the websites in that manner. Like I did
Yeah.
some coding before when I had like different clients in the past. So
Mm-hmm.
we had some custom websites, so I needed to implement like custom posts and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. But I regarding the Webflow, I never touch the website. So I'm just telling,
Okay.
okay, like we need this. So technically, if you want to add robot text or robot
Mm-hmm.
tags or like what, pardon, I think robot text you can like actually implement on site level, but like robot
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
tags, you need to implement manual directive
In
on
the
the
code.
page. Yeah,
Yeah,
in the
on the
code
page.
on
Yeah.
each page. So if you want to
Yeah,
have
each
like
page.
index
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
on some page, okay, like if
Yeah,
you want to have on
you
different.
cannot do it site wide like.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
okay.
That's very big problem. Then
Mm-hmm.
you like recently they just like gave option for sitemaps. Before that,
Mm-hmm.
you had like horrible automatically generated sitemap where like
Oh.
you actually building something is staging and sitemap pulling up staging you to be indexed. It was
Oh, yeah,
horrible.
yeah, yeah.
So technically, if you ask me like about the advantages and comparing with WordPress, for example, there are very small amount of advantages that I can say that Webflow has if you're talking about, you know, uh, beginners or like people that starting that. So I would always advise beginners to start learning SEO on WordPress. I actually started like
Yeah.
learning on Drupal, believe it or not. That was that was super funny story. But regarding like advantages on Webflow, and if you're my
Mm-hmm.
client and if you're coming, okay, hey, I have the WordPress website, so you know how I can
Yeah,
tell you
like, but I
the
don't
Webflow.
like the design. I like how
Yeah,
Webflow has all the
yeah,
animations. I would
yeah,
love to migrate. Like, what are
yeah.
the steps I need to do to move forward?
Yeah. So technically, okay, with migration, we're gonna cover that. It's a pretty straightforward SEO, like more people calling that tech SEO question. So it is okay. We're
Yeah,
gonna like tackle that. But I would like always tackle exactly things that you said. So if you ask me, okay, hello, like can you just explain me why I need to migrate 1,000 pages from WordPress to Webflow,
yeah,
I would say, listen, like if you want very amazing animation experience, like user experience, options that you can like actually imagine something and that be like that put in reality. Query a lot of people will say, okay, WordPress can do that. No,
yeah.
WordPress cannot do that. And
Mhm.
if you want a really fast product, that's another
Mhm.
question. Again, I didn't measure, the time that developer can make site in Webflow and WordPress,
Yeah. Okay.
but I
We're
would,
just talking from the SEO
yeah,
perspective.
I
Yeah.
would I would say always go with the Webflow for that. And from tech SEO
Mhm.
perspective regarding migration, it's my standard procedure that like I mark all URLs that you have there. First, we are like making like migration map, so we are marking all URLs that you have.
Mhm.
Query if you don't like migrating the whole domain, if you want just to switch of platform from Webflow to, pardon, WordPress to Webflow, then
The
we're gonna
Webflow.
keep URLs. We just need to set up different DNS settings and transfer the website there and follow the process. But query if you're like changing
Mhm.
domain, changing URLs, then we are getting in process of mapping URLs with the new URLs that you want to have. And query we are doing a lot of migrations in Vesa, where we need to like migrate even 5,000 pages. So imagine like the
Yeah.
spreadsheet with 5,000 old URLs, 5,000 new
Yeah.
URLs, and then like setting up query correct 301s.
Mhm.
And yeah, that would be like the process, then like following what developers do, and after that like check if everything is okay. Clearly I have like one hack there, so I love to always keep the old URLs in the sitemap until
Mhm.
they are not until the new URLs are not indexed. So that's like
Oh
a
yeah.
little
Okay.
bit hack from a migration perspective. And always I need to be transparent, so I will need to say to the client, or you in this case, that Webflow doesn't give you option to migrate from Webflow to other platforms. So that's also pretty shitty
Oh, that's
situation.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, but I can see like they're making sure that everyone is staying on Webflow. I mean, they have a better retention
yeah.
rate by by doing that. So
I
yeah,
wouldn't advise
that's
that business
business.
decision to anyone, but yeah, they are doing, and query it's going okay
Yeah,
for
yeah,
them.
I get it. I get it. Okay, so Nick, I've seen your case studies and I must say that I'm impressed. So I wanted to ask you, what are some of your most effective SEO strategies for SaaS companies?
Hmm. So yeah, then I would need to mention you also there. But regarding the stuff there that we actually doing, like my main focus is that I will explain why I need to mention you. Is that I don't focus. I focus on general strategy level. I'm
Mm-hmm.
focusing on content marketing a lot, and then I'm focusing on omni-channel SEO. So
Mm-hmm.
I left out one very big reason for success that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of those companies have, and those are backlinks. I'm not like tackling
Oh.
backlinks. Query, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have operational power to do that, and I don't have,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, even knowledge and interest to tackle backlinks.
Yeah, I
But
get it.
my main focus and my main goal with and success that I found, it is that omni-channel SEO approach and content marketing strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
what I
like,
mean,
mm-hmm.
I was
I
just
like
want,
to I just wanted to get into the flow. So
yeah.
let's say like, what are your first steps once the client is onboarded and ready to kick
Mhm,
off with the SEO
mhm,
campaign?
mhm. Again, amazing question. I really like this format. So first and foremost, like I have like a very analytical approach. So we are
Mm-hmm.
collecting ICPs. So that's ideal
Mm-hmm.
customer profiles, a demographic that they want to target,
Mm-hmm.
competitors, and basically we kicking off with analysis. My main
Mm-hmm.
goal is to understand demographics that we need to reach, and then
Mm-hmm.
when we like actually tackle and map all of those things. Okay, if we are sure
Mm-hmm.
that we understand demographic, if we are sure that we understand competitors, if we are sure that we see our way to reach that demographics, then we can get to execution point. So because of that, I think my I would spiritual mentor Daniel Foley Carter just recently said, like, audits are the big part of SEO. So if you prepare very in-depth audit and
Mm-hmm.
analysis prior to the project, you have 90% of project success guaranteed.
Yeah.
Clearly it's not possible with all of the clients, unfortunately, but like with majority of startups I'm doing like that. And then
Mm-hmm.
we preparing document, we are outlining everything that we found, and then we are
Mm-hmm.
proceeding with two main things, as I said, because I'm focusing on that. First thing is keyword research. Again, we are mapping the keywords, but not keyword
Mm-hmm.
research for the sake of targeting, but keyword research for the sake of analysis, what we need to target, who we need to reach,
Mm-hmm.
and what's like traffic potential, stuff like Gregor, stuff there, what is like keyword difficulty, so that we just can understand from those keywords. And
Mm-hmm.
then like the biggest point that we are doing is actually making topical map. So we are making like the whole topical map, like structuring in different clusters, in pillar pages, in everything like in one like very structured content plan. And from
Mm-hmm.
that moment, we are proceeding. And clearly, as I said, I cannot like let that out.
Mm-hmm.
Organizing the off page strategy
Mm-hmm.
regarding like each client that I'm not directly providing, but like those backlinks and strategy in place are actually making for a big part of our success.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
would
yeah.
be
Like
like basic
backlinks
flow.
are a good ranking signal, and I
Yeah, for
think
sure.
like they will always be because links
Yeah,
are everywhere on the web.
especially for startups. Yeah, you know that, like,
Yeah,
the best, especially for startups.
yeah.
Why? Because like startups, actually, you're starting from scratch, you have zero authority. For startups, like, it's very important that they make some kind of authority in the niche and the industry that they're trying
Mm-hmm.
to rank for. And query, I wanted just to explain more, even from last question, omni-channel SEO. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm having that. A lot of people like right now coming with different terms, but like omni-channel SEO is the only way that I think SEO should be applied. So that means that
Mm-hmm.
SEO is the part of all different digital channels. So what that
Mm-hmm.
actually means, I'm using SEO to
Yeah.
help PPC channel to collaborate with PPC team, also. So to collaborate
Mm-hmm.
with email marketing team, to collaborate with outbound team. So technically, I'm also in my approach, like giving directives to startup founders, to CEOs, how they can apply SEO not as a only channel there, but how
Mm-hmm.
they can apply SEO to actually increase the performance of rest of the channels that they actually utilizing as PPC, for
Yeah,
example.
that's a great strategy. Yeah, and I see how SEO is complementary with all the other
Complement, exactly.
aspects of digital marketing. So, Nick, yeah, I wanted to ask you, like, how do you approach content optimization to ensure it ranks well on search engines?
Mm-hmm. Uh, I would say why. Yeah, I would say
I
why
know,
this
like,
question
you're
right
the
now
guy
with
who
yeah,
knows how to create
yeah,
content
yeah,
that
yeah,
will
yeah,
actually rank and provide
yeah,
great results in such a short time period. And I've
yeah.
seen that. You showed me how you do it. I was amazed. So, like, how do you approach that content
Yeah,
optimization?
yeah, and I would, yeah, for sure, like, to ask you why this question right now, like as a joke query, because of AI, FG, and everything that's going on the Google
Yeah,
currently. So it's a very tricky question to answer, but I would like try to give the best answer that I can.
yeah.
So my standard procedure is that, as I explained, I focus on topical authority. So we're always looking
Mm-hmm.
to cover, topic till it's full. So that we cover each aspect. And then if you ask me, okay, but like if you want to cover same stuff on the internet, like why your siting
Mm-hmm.
performing well, that's not the secret sauce there or secret thing.
Mm-hmm.
The main point there is that I have actually writers that are taught by me how to
Mm-hmm.
apply how to approach to content from SEO perspective. So technically, I would say that the biggest part of that success is very good research. for each topic, very good preparation in references, and then zero usage of AI. That's like must in with my writers that we're
Mm-hmm.
actually providing content for the clients. It's like actually zero AI. And the third part of that success would be clearly that writers need to understand who
Mm-hmm.
they're writing for. So my writers actually always, before starting to write for the client, um, they go on series of meetings with personnel from the client company or a
Oh,
client
okay.
team. Yes. So I would say deeply understanding of who you're talking about, and who you want to reach with your content. I would say topical, authority and great execution of
Mm-hmm.
making topical maps. And the last part is amazing research. So maybe even you will call me crazy, but my writers are, by my end, limited to
Mm-hmm.
write only one article per day. So
Oh,
we are
so
not
you want
going
to
on
make sure
volume.
to keep the.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yes.
example, one of my question was how, like, I wanted to ask you, like, how do you manage your team and projects to maintain high standards in SEO? So you just answer me that. So you keep
Yes.
your writers, your people well informed about the projects. You get them on a meetings with the clients to discuss goals, strategies, topics, and everything that they need to cover. So I see that like you are always keeping your writers updated and that you are making sure not to overwhelm them with the work so they drop with their quality. So
Exactly like
that's a
that.
good strategy.
Yeah, thank you so much. But like again, a lot of founders don't understand this part, and they even ask me
Mm-hmm.
like, why you don't scale? Why you like, what is that one article per day? They need 2 hours. No, like if they want to create content that actually works, my writers spending like 6 to 8 hours per each content that they write, content piece.
Wow.
So as I said, I really don't like, I don't love that. So if you cannot sacrifice money, and again, because of that, I'm thinking that like if you focus only on money, you will not have a quality
Mm-hmm.
agency and quality output. So if you want to focus on a quality work and like sacrifice a bit of profit and revenue there, it's like just organization. And clearly one big part, I think I talked with Russ McCumber, SEO success story. It's one of the
Mm-hmm.
biggest podcasts in SEO. So he asked me like the process of employing people, and that part is
Mm-hmm.
actually just I actually spent 6 months with each of them to actually onboard the
Mm-hmm.
person up. And I spend like basically those 6 months are just like process of making mistakes and like challenging ourselves to actually learn stuff and to actually get in touch with everything that they need to do. So each of my employees is actually taught by me how to do stuff. So that's
Mm-hmm.
like first part of your answer. And second part, I never look to for extra profit if I need to sacrifice quality. So we have procedures that are actually working for us. One article per day per query each writer
Yeah.
that we have in the team is like our maximum amount.
Well, man, like now when you said all this and I see how thorough you are when choosing and picking people you want to work with, I'm even more honored to be able to work with you on some projects. And now
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
see the quality you're looking and everything, that's
Yeah,
great,
yeah,
man.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And yeah, I
So,
already shared that with you. So I'm very, very picky
yeah.
who I'm taking
I
for,
see.
like,
I
some
mean,
projects
yeah,
we're
I
working
see.
on.
Like you. I mean, we can see from all of these that you really appreciate all your clients. You
For
wanna
sure.
have the same quality, never drop it. You're focused on all the details. You never wanna miss anything. So I mean, that makes you a guy who people want to work with. So that's
Y-
good, man. That's very
Yeah,
good.
actually, yeah. And I would say that, like, I have a lot of actually, like, messages from people, like, even that,
Yeah.
but when those like sales guys reach you, so do you need extra leads? No, Like, no, you're lying. You're lying. No. So actually, it's happening that a lot of business owners and even startup founders, like
Mm-hmm.
CEOs, whatever, are approaching me, and I'm basically very picky. So it's and sometimes like I'm like even rejecting like 80% of them. So if my capacity with the team is full, then I would
Mm-hmm.
like reject them. Like basically we
Oh.
cannot like offer you the same quality, and that's all. Because of that, as I said, like you need to make some sacrifices. So if I'm not ready to take the project that I'm pretty confident that we can make results with, then I would probably like reject that even for time
Mm-hmm.
being or stuff like that. Because like listen, if my team is like at full capacity and if I'm like
Mm-hmm.
uh, taking more projects, that will lead to two different situations that I want to avoid. First one, that I need to fast employ, and that's like
Mm-hmm.
that very stupid for me. That's very bad floscula, but like fast employee,
Yeah.
fast hire, fast fire. So
Yeah,
what you're
yeah, I
getting,
know, I
like
know.
that's super horrible.
Yeah.
And second part is that I think for longevity in this business, you need to make a very good client
Mm-hmm.
approach, so that you can keep the clients, because it's very competitive niche. So I would say, and I know for a fact that you are also doing that, that we have like very very high and long client retention rate that
Retention
actually,
rate, yeah, that's
yes,
right.
it surpassed like 3 4 5 years, whatever. So it's very
Yeah,
good.
man.
It's very good.
That's a big respect for you, Nick. I mean, I
Thank you.
see how many people are just, they just wanna get new clients. They don't care about the quality, they care about the quantity. They lose their quality by providing and accepting more and more and more clients
Yes,
to their
yes,
agency. So yeah, I also agree with you that if you see that the project is currently too big for you and you would need to immediately hire new people, or that the other option is to lose the quality as your people won't
yeah,
have enough time to commit to the project, then you can either postpone the project if the guy really wants to work with you, or you
yeah,
can refer it to someone else that
yes,
is
absolutely.
trustworthy. And then if you cannot do any of these two, then you the only option is to reject the project.
Yes,
So yeah.
as you said, yeah, and because of that, we are working also, as you said, on some of the project, because I saw in you that you also like don't sacrifice quality for
Yeah.
money and stuff like that, so that you're very organized. Your people know what they're doing. You're very knowledgeable about the stuff, and at the end of the day, you're trying to keep the same quality for each client. So because of that, as I said, like some clients are paying very small retainer, and I'm also providing query in
Yeah, the
smaller
same
amount,
quality for everyone.
but same
Yeah.
quality. Yeah, if they even pay for one
Yeah,
meeting per month, actually we got amazing client that
that's really
he
good.
was he paying one meeting per month, and with only that one meeting we almost double the traffic over the year. So I'm just trying to provide the value for the amount that I'm paid
Mhm.
for. Clearly we have some other retainers that were like, huge, but again,
Mhm.
as I said, like it's not like that. I'm not gonna like ditch anyone. I will just
Mhm.
like, okay, like let's find a way to collaborate, because like this is the way how I work,
Mhm.
and my team works. So I don't really want to sacrifice any of the quality for any of the clients that I'm working with.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So Nick, when it comes to keyword research, like what tools and techniques do you use for keyword research in
Yeah,
different industries?
yeah, again,
Yeah.
as I said, like last week I moved away from keyword research, and I moved
Mhm.
forward to more and more ditching keywords and focus topic authority. But
Mhm.
I would
Mhm.
say like my tools of preference, I know it's pretty horrible state right now, it's Ahrefs.
Yeah.
I just like
Mhm.
started to work with Ahrefs when I started in the industry,
Mhm.
so logically that was like the part that
Yeah.
tool like is my favorite tool. I really think it's amazing tool for analysis. So again,
Mhm.
if I'm not using it exactly for keywords, maybe SEMrush is even better because you have different intent and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I would
Mhm.
use anyway HS because of analysis that I can get from it,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty used to HS.
Mhm.
So regarding
Mhm.
techniques, again, it's very hard for me to say that, because like again I ditched the approach to just being the keywords, but I would
Mhm.
say like looking at overall. So way back I have three different techniques: competitors, query, what they're
Mhm.
going for, then
Mhm.
manual, approach and paid ads if the client get like paid team. So whatever
Mm-hmm.
they bidding on paid ads, I would like take that and like spread more around that. Manual research is like that you like, getting some idea and then typing, trying to find different ways. Query like for that it was keywords everywhere, amazing tool. Or even like also asked, I'm using like a lot also asked till this day to find like different
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
questions about the query and similar stuff to that. And in the end it would be competitors. But again, I'm very against following exact way that your competitors did,
Mm-hmm.
because you will provide zero new information, you will provide zero new value for the users. And I'm really thinking that Google will move towards that. If you don't have anything new or anything from the value, I'm really thinking that you will not rank anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks for sharing this. We also use Ahrefs as we find it the best of all the other tools. I mean, we tested out other tools as well, but like we love the UI and the simplicity. Everything
Yes.
is very easy to use, and you
Apart
can
from
get all the
price.
details. Yeah, apart
Apart
from
from price.
price. Yeah, so
Apart from price,
Ahrefs,
yeah.
if you're listening, you should send us a special offer to me and Nick.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. No,
So
I
Nick,
actually, yeah, went back and
yeah.
forth with them like regarding that. It's crazy like what they did,
Yeah,
but it's
I know,
whatever.
I know.
Yeah,
Like especially if you want to get the API, that's
yeah,
ultra
yeah.
expensive. But yeah. So yeah, Nick, I wanted to ask you a very interesting question that people always have different answers to these questions. So,
Mhm,
like, what are some common SEO mistakes business
mhm.
make, and how can they avoid them? Like, based on your previous experience.
Uh, I have very actually clear answer to that, and I'm
Yeah.
sure probably like a majority of people will agree with that. Is like paying
Mm-hmm.
too low for SEO. That's the biggest mistake that business can do. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
pay, and if you have very low budget, that like you can actually think that you can get something for example 500 USD per month. You cannot get anything. Like just imagine how
Yeah.
one writer cost backlinks and stuff like that. So and SEO expert on top of that. So with 500 USD per month, you don't have anything there. So the biggest mistake was that, and that even saw in career. So technically, people don't count on something that's like cumulative over the time frame. So what's happening there is that if you're paying 500 USD per month for 12 months, you're gonna pay 6,000.
Yeah.
It's better to pay, for example, 2,000 per month for 3 months, very good expert that can give you knowledge, strategy, everything, and to follow
Mm-hmm.
up with that, than to spend like 6,000 over the year, get absolutely nothing, maybe even destroy the website with different forbidden techniques, or like cheap links from Fiverr and stuff like that,
Yeah.
whatever, and then like hire after that period good SEO for like 2, 3, 4,000 per month, and you're gonna like anyways you anyway lose like 6K. So why? With 6K you can like really make some very
Yeah.
nice movement. So I would say that the biggest problem with founders, because they are not knowledgeable about the SEO, and the biggest problem is that their budget for SEO is way lower. So they just
Mm-hmm.
like want to have some SEO guy, they just want to have mentioning of SEO in their marketing, but they don't understand it, and then they don't want to pay. And when they
Mm-hmm.
don't want to pay, then we get in situation that they're like having actually double of the cost.
Yeah. And like, how do you maintain transparency with your clients about their SEO investments?
KP, you already know that, but like query on some serious level when you're working, when you
Mm-hmm.
have international clients and clients that we are working with, query, from your perspective regarding backlinks, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
my perspective, it's maybe a little bit more complex.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say KPIs. So I can always doing KPIs,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that a lot of people like running away from KPIs because they don't want that responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But simple reports and KPIs. Keyword positions gained for query, not all keywords, but keywords that actually matter. Leads
Mm-hmm.
to some sort, like if that we want to go for conversions, we want to go for
Mm-hmm.
signing demos, we want to go for signing newsletters, whatever. Like so, sign ups, conversions. I would say like traffic. I would say Probably that's all, clicks or whatever,
Yeah, and like what
depending on the
metrics do you
tool.
consider most important when measuring the success of an SEO campaign?
Uh, I
Like
cannot say
if
like
you have
I
to
need to
choose
say
one.
that, but I'm not happy to say that because I think SEO is multidimensional, omni marketing channel. But I need to say
Okay,
leads. I need to say leads.
leads.
Absolutely the leads.
But
Yeah,
in order to measure leads, you would need to have some access to their CRM or
CRM,
something like
yes,
that.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
like
usually I have again like I will need that if you want to send those KPIs. So usually I have.
yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
yesterday I just got like amazing message, amazing feedback from the client. It's oh my gosh, like we, start collaborating. Recently he built this website or whatever, and he was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, I just like got like free leads organically, and like I'm amazed.
Mm-hmm.
It's very it is not cheap industry in case of free weights are super big, but like I
So,
would say
mm-hmm.
that access to that the leads are the most. So, sorry, just
Yeah,
wanted
they bring the value. I know.
yeah,
Everyone
to
wants to have
to
more
clarify
leads. That's
that.
their
Yeah,
goal. Yeah,
you,
yeah,
you
yeah.
have
Should.
MQL and SQL. So MQL is
Mm-hmm.
marketing qualifying leads, and SQL is sales qualified leads. Both of
Mm-hmm.
those metrics should be the part of report system. So for me
Okay.
personally, I wouldn't say that that's most important, because I know people that actually get generating 30 people on the website, but from 30
Mm-hmm.
people per month. And you will say, oh my god, that's nothing. But from 30 people, they scheduling 4 calls, 4 meetings.
Oh.
So it's just like it's super for me personally not good that you look at one metric as most important in SEO, but I would
Okay.
say qualified traffic, if I can say like that,
Mm-hmm.
and leads.
Yeah, you
Those
can.
two is the most important.
Okay, man. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And for example, once the client starts getting a decent number of leads every
Mhm,
single month, would
mhm.
you recommend that the client starts looking at the conversion rate as and add it as one metric that should be tracked as well?
Uh, very interesting question. I would say no. I would say more click-through
Mm-hmm.
ratio. I think CTR or click-through
Okay.
ratio is way more important from SEO because, like, we can affect meta titles,
Mm-hmm.
meta descriptions that can affect the click-through
Exactly.
ratio. Regarding
Mm-hmm.
conversions, I don't find that as a part of a job of SEO. I know that a lot of people will not agree, but I really hate people when they say they are experts from web design to
Mm-hmm.
SEO to PPC. You are not expert in anything, like if you ask me, in that way.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
would say that conversions are more for conversion rate expert or at least for UX designer.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't like accept that as my KPI, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
you're
and and
completely
and
right.
also
Yes.
and also what happened? What if we have 80? I even generated something like 90, 80, leads per month. And if the sales
Mm-hmm.
team is super bad and they like convert only 5 of them, for me personally,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like
yeah,
their.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't have
They would
anything to do with
hurt
that.
your
Yes,
KPIs if you measure
yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So, like, to bring this podcast at the very end, I wanted to discuss one important thing, and you already know what is it about. So now that SG is up and running, how do you see the role of AI evolving in the SEO industry?
I'm not fan of it. I'm gonna say like that. I'm gonna start like with that. Clearly, I
Uh
had
huh.
a chance to test it even in beta before,
Mm-hmm.
so we have like that part that we can like follow up. So let's say like bad and good things. Bad things, I
Yeah.
still don't find AI relevant there, and we can see those memes, bananum, oranjanum, and the other stuff, with
Yeah.
different stuff there. And clearly, so I'm not a fan of it there. I'm more oriented that AI is not gonna be like there for some quality time. Why? So that like I think AI will be there for a long time, but not quality time, because with
Mm-hmm.
quality they struggle a bit, and I'm not sure that Google was ready for this. Also, I saw some super warning signs yesterday that I think Ellie Schwartz mentioning is that like Google planning in one moment to give you not only AI overview but whole AI generated page. In that part, that would be deadly for SEO and
Like
like at least
on
SEO
the
that we know.
right on the homepage.
No.
like on the Google search
On the Google search,
page.
yeah,
You will be
without
able
any
to see
links.
the whole page.
The
Whoa.
whole, yeah, that's
Yeah,
stupid.
that
Like
can.
you can that that would be like end of SEO, correct? But
Yeah.
yeah, I hope they will not do that. At least soon. And when I see like and when I say end of SEO, it's like end of SEO that we know that we are doing right now. Query, it will be managing that AI actually show you in that random
Yeah.
generated page. But anyway, I'm not fan of it. I think it's
Mhm.
not for quality at all. It's not quality improvement. It will stay for a long time. It will be more and more, there. I think Google was pushed to publish this by stakeholders to not show their weakness over open
Mhm.
AI and similar stuff, to follow the latest trends. Also, I'm not. I'm pretty sure that Google, will manage to make it better over the time. You know.
Mhm.
So from that perspective, I'm not happy with it. But why I'm happy with it, at least what I can conclude from test, it was that like some evergreen topics, as we mentioning in this
Mhm.
podcast, like some different examples. Actually, AI gave me answer from 2018. So I was thinking, okay, like this is very bad, whatever. But then I was realizing that isn't bad. Why? Because like
Mhm.
if we just have, and we have a lot of spin-off in the past
Mhm.
years of Google, so we are not actually doing anything new, anything like we are not evolving. So I'm actually happy that they chose to show some older articles and older results for the topics that are evergreen, that are not changing.
Mhm.
So I really think that this can be like looked in both sides. Like for now, and the worst case scenario is that they weren't ready for this. Google wasn't ready for this at all. So I'm very scared about that. But from the good point, I think it will open new opportunities. If it will give us more value to actually provide original content, and I think it will maybe open some new profession, as like Google AI
Yeah.
expert, SEO expert, or whatever. So we're gonna
Yeah,
feel,
yeah. At the end of this year, we expect to see job titles like
job titles,
that.
yeah, for sure, regarding
Yeah,
AI
as
and Google,
AI
yeah.
SEO specialist.
Yeah, yes, your specialist. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
the case for sure. But yeah, and as I said, like the problem with the whole Google is that they have monopole over search engines, and I really think that we need another search
Mm.
engine that will be competitor.
Mhm.
Because like in this way they're just doing whatever they want, and it's not only
Mhm.
problem that they affect us, they affect even a lot of businesses that are earning money via
Mhm.
search.
Yeah. I understand. I understand. Nick, this has been an interesting discussion.
Thank you.
So thank you for joining us on the Ranking Heroes. A big shout out to you for
Thank
sharing
you so
all the
much.
wealth of knowledge and inspiring journey. So if you guys enjoyed today's episode with Nick, make sure to subscribe to our channel, follow us on our social media. So stay tuned for more episodes we bring. And until next time, keep innovating. And remember, I think that you just learned a big lesson from Nick, and that's that success is a journey, not a destination.
For sure.
Goodbye for now. Thanks, Nick.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.